there. Your road ends here. You survived that! Your road ends here. You'll regret this! What's that noise? Your money or your life? You're no match for our band! Your gold belongs to us now!
I sensed your approach, my king. I, Gurfan of the Gunvaldir tribe, salute you as my forefathers decreed. Ah, so you're still speaking with your own voice. Good. At least I won't have to bother with that formal drivel Camelot loves so much. Tell me, how does it work with the two of you? Does the king speak through you sometimes? Or is he just a passenger in your head? Will he ever come out and talk to me face to face? Or does he just sit there quietly, never getting involved? Either way, I've got a few things to say to him. Not exactly polite ones. Ah, so he won't be speaking. Still too weak, is he? Not surprising. Well, then give my regards to the old man. Tell him the Gunvaldir tribe stayed loyal to the old treaties right to the end. The same can't be said of the Camelocians, a pack of cowardly dogs without honor. I hope Arthur's squirming in your head, seeing what his beloved capital has been up to. Normal ones, honorable. He entrusted us with the forlorn swords and his crown, the one he used to command giants. We were sworn to guard them. In return, Camelot was supposed to leave us alone, now and forever. But the Camelocians didn't hold up their end of the deal. May their souls rot in the weirdness. Can you hear me, Arthur? The treaty is rubbish. I'm rallying the tribes, and we're marching on Camelot. Nothing can stop us anymore. Except ourselves, damn it. Why? He's barely gotten his life back, and not even all of it. Does he have a death wish or something? There's a passage, sure. And if you're Arthur, it will open for you. Go ahead, if you think you're strong enough. Nobody's gonna stop you. But let me warn you, it's not going to be an easy journey, or a short one. Well, the giants are asleep, at least on the surface. But below, what if they wake up when they see Arthur? I doubt they'll be happy. And if the giants weren't enough, there are still the monsters, and other surprises. The legends about this place make it all pretty clear. If I were you, I wouldn't go in there. At least, not until you're sure you have the strength to handle what's hiding inside. Or without the blessing of the tribes, as agreed 600 years ago. You'd know that if you remembered our agreements, Arthur. Yes, the funny thing about our king, as you may already know, was that he was pretty sure of himself and his abilities. He knew he could march in there, grab his crown whenever he wanted, so he didn't sweat when he made a deal with our ancestors. He said he'd come back for his royal hat, only if the kingdom was in a dire situation, and if all tribes agreed to let him. Traditionally, this was meant to be done during a moot, an assembly of the tribes, and I'm calling one, so we can help each other out, if you're up for it. They won't. Our tribes aren't exactly known for getting along, and gathering them all in one place at the same time. That's almost a miracle. But now they've left Gunvaldir in its time of need, and they're ashamed. And that's even worse. That's why you have to shame them even more, so that they have no choice but to come here or risk their honor. And if they say they won't come because, then you'll deal with a because, right? After all, you're the king, aren't you? Well, I need the chieftains to come here because we have to agree on a united front if we're going to fight Camelot. And I want to make damn sure that we fight Camelot not as a solitary tribe, like hot-headed One-Eye once, but as a united force. But I'm worried that something might be keeping them from leaving their villages. I'd like you to look into it. Exactly. There's only one sane course of action, but you do you. I'll be waiting. I'm not going anywhere. As a gunvelder, I've got nowhere to go anyway. Yes? Who have you managed to convince?
This is the entrance to the King's threat. Wouldn't it be wiser to draw on the wisdom of the local tribes before we go in? We must be strong and worthy to walk this path. One can never have too much experience. As you wish. Let us go then, and face the end of our journey.
his burden, the man beneath the myth. I am the face that time forgot, the name that was never enough.
First, you used these people to win yourself a kingdom, and now you herded them here under threat of being stomped to death by giants if they leave or disobey. After all that they've gone through, all that they've done, all that they've suffered, this is how you intend to repay them?
No kingdom will stand with people like them within its borders. They would have to change their ways. The Del Rita are not ready for this. You know this.
You did worse than all of them combined, and you are the one responsible for all they've done so far. They fought for your name and under your banners. Does this mean you're not fit to be a king? Not ready to have a kingdom?
I left the heritage of Pendragon behind me. I severed the ties between myself and my tribe. I lost all that tied me to the past when I became king. I set a new path for myself. They are not ready to do that.
Bullshit. You forced them to go against their sacred traditions. You destroyed their identities. They betrayed their comrades because you ordered them to. They kidnapped the children of the giants because you told them to do it. Everything they did was so that you could win this war. And now what? You're going to punish them for being your best, fiercest soldiers, most loyal of your men?
This is not...
Oh, stop with your excuses already. You broke them, and now you're abandoning them to starve or freeze to death in these damned lands.
This kingdom needs to be built on peace, Caradoc. Letting them live among merchants, lords, and ladies in Camelot or Timberwall. How would that go?
Exactly as anyone would expect it to go.
So we would end up with a civil war. Right after we won the war that almost annihilated us all.
Oh, damn you. I've had enough. I stood by you through everything. Even what you did to me. To Seawall. I let it all slide. I told myself it was for something. For a noble cause. But this is where I draw the line. I renounce my oaths, and I'm walking away. Put a blade in my back if that helps you sleep. I don't care. Not anymore.
Now I remember it all. I left the best of my people here. I betrayed their loyalty. And for what? Everything is in ruin. Everything I struggled to build is corrupted. This land, it had a glorious past, but it has no future. There is no way to save it. And what if my decision cost them the ability to grow? What if instead of helping them become better, I forced them to stay set in their ways? I may have been right about the diagnosis, but now I see that I could have been wrong about the cure. The tribes helped us win the war. They were fearless and followed every order. They were the most loyal of all. But I left them broken. And after the war, their bloodlust was insatiable. I had to do something. This felt like the only choice. The giants sided with our enemy. We had to find a way to remove them from the equation. So, under cover of night, the tribes stole their children. I told the giants their offspring were our hostages, and that we would slaughter them if they refused to bend the knee. One of the most humiliating moments of that whole war, both for me and for the Del Rita. Caradoc had the clearest eyes of any of us. He saw things for what they were, and I think I destroyed that. Destroyed him with all I did. I turned him into this. And now he's only a shadow of the man I once knew. He used to carry hope. Now all he carries is vengeance. I come from the Pendragon bloodline, a heritage drenched in as much blood as that of the Del Rita. A heritage that pillaged and fought in the homelands for longer than anyone can remember, and unable to build anything that withstood the test of time. I decided to leave it behind me when we won the war against the Four-Dwellers, and built our kingdom on Avalon on stronger foundations. Now we've seen that my bloodline must have been cursed. There's nothing left. Nothing worth saving. Nothing worth rebuilding. I gave everything I had to this land. My blood, my soul, my name. And the land devoured it all. I betrayed the ones who believed in me. I cut down the men who fought for me. I turned away from my own blood to build something better. And all I built was another ruin. I thought I was forging a future. I was just extending the fall. Do what you want. There's nothing about this land that I recognize anymore. All I've ever done got turned into dust, corrupted against my intentions, destroyed. Why bother?
Once and future king, you return. Speak your will through the mortal you now inhabit. Is it time for us to awaken? Delrita were our eyes through long centuries of subjugation. We honor their fierce and burning spirits, but we know their rule would be merciless and drenched in blood. The giants know that bloodshed must be halted. Your will shall be done.
The moot will not happen, my king. This alone would have sealed our fate. And yet, you were strong enough to walk the king's thread, and you conquered it. What is your will, my king? What decision have you made regarding the giants? So, our war plans were nipped in the bud. Once again our king rises, and once again he takes a stand against the most loyal of his people. If it wasn't clear before, it is now how little the tribes mean to you, how little they always meant. We will remember that all we can ever expect from you, our king, is betrayal.
War never makes sense. It is a tool for survival. Had I refused to wage war against the Foredwellers, humanity would never have survived on Avalon. So if Gurfhanna declares war on Camelot, Avalon will once again drown in blood. But don't ask me what I think of it. Through your eyes, I see that Camelot is no longer the place I left behind. When I gave the forlorn swords to the tribes of the Dalrita, there was nothing of substance here. A few abandoned giant caves, the occasional lone pillar, nothing more. What stands now must have arisen after my time. And I must admit, I'm impressed with how they've made it their own. Their resilience speaks for itself. Now you ask me, when it was your choices and actions that led to those consequences. The Dalrita are no longer what they once were. It's true that when they had no enemies, they fought among themselves. But even then, they always stood united against the outside world. Now they are scattered, their shared identity lost. I pity them. In days past, that identity was the tribe's greatest strength.
So, you finally made it. Took you long enough. I hope you're ready, because this is it. The beginning of the end. Ready to finish your journey, of course. You've come far, but every path ends somewhere. Yours ends here, in the heart of it all. Philosophically, not you specifically, but someone like you. Literally. Yes, and I was getting quite bored with the wait. This is the Charred Conclave, a graveyard for druids, burned alive as scapegoats for the Red Death. It's a reminder of what happens when people fear what they don't understand. To greet you. I was once where you are now. A knight with questions, searching for answers. That search led me to this place. And here I found my answers. Now it's your turn. Well, first you're going to meet my former employer. We don't see eye to eye anymore, but we both realize that our collaboration yields results, as shown by you being here. He'll try to sugarcoat the hard truths I've been telling you from the beginning, spin them differently. Never mind. Why waste time here talking about it when you're just a step from the end? It's best if you just go forth and see for yourself. Just remember, this is the point of no return. Once you've stepped through, there's no going back. But if you've come this far, I suppose you already knew that. Go on. He's waiting for you.
At last we meet. I've heard much about you. Your choices, your determination. Caradoc isn't easily impressed, but he was impressed with you. Few dare to seek the truths buried in Avalon's shadows. Fewer still make it this far. I was the first. Caradoc followed when my brethren burned and the tear opened. And now, here you are, a truly rare and joyful occasion. Oh, forgive my lack of manners. I am Orin, the last apprentice of Merlin, and the last archdruid of Avalon. I've carried the weight of this land's secrets longer than I care to admit. But names mean little. What matters is the task before us. What lingers here, it's older than Avalon, older than anything we know. What you see is the beginning of weirdness itself. Its purest form, raw potential, unshaped by anything but its lack of boundaries and limits. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, precisely the opposite of what Caradoc wants. I want you to help me resurrect King Arthur, properly this time. Ridiculous, I know. But yes, that's what it boils down to. At some point, we stopped seeing eye to eye and chose different paths. Ultimately, though, both our paths led to you. Yes, please let me explain. By the end of his life, Arthur became obsessed with his legacy. He left mementos, artifacts that embodied the virtues he wanted Avalon to preserve. Excalibur, a symbol of loyalty and sacrifice. The crown of Pendragon, a beacon of courage and resilience. The shield of Palamedes, wisdom and independence. But Merlin and the others didn't believe that would be enough. The memory of war and the fragility of peace was still too fresh. So they acted. When the king died, his soul wasn't allowed to move on. It was shattered, bound to those artifacts. A clever solution, but ultimately flawed. They feared losing what Arthur represented more than losing Arthur himself. They thought the king's essence would endure if bound to his relics. You can't pick and choose with a soul, but that's exactly what Merlin did. He focused on 3 parts of Arthur: his strength, wisdom, and courage. He left out 2 pieces. One, tainted by the Four Dwellers' magic, was deemed too dangerous. The other was his humanity, the most fragile part. Merlin thought compassion and doubt were weaknesses, unfit for a king. Without them, Arthur became hollow. A king with power, but no heart. That way, Avalon's greatest failure was born. I tried, and I found his humanity. It's here, bound, kept safe. But the Four Dwellers' aspects was left to drift, untethered between worlds. Finding it needed more than magic. It needed someone like you. The horrors you endured on that island gave you something no one else has. You can move through the weirdness, touch it, and return whole. That's why you found the king's soul, bound it to yourself, and came back. You flatter me. No, I couldn't have predicted all of that. I merely nudged the Red Church in the right direction and asked Caradoc to assist where I couldn't. I can see you're still doubting me. I want to bring back our king, whole and complete. I want him to lead again and safeguard Avalon's future. It won't. This time, Arthur will be whole. A king must be more than power. He must be human. That balance is what will save Avalon. Because I've seen what happens without him. Weirdness preys on the weak, and the people are too divided to stand against it alone. Arthur is their only hope, Ever they're left without him, without guidance, chaos takes hold. Division festers. You've seen it during your journeys. If things continue this way, Avalon will tear itself apart long before weirdness finishes the job. They will follow him. That's what people do. When weirdness comes to their doorstep, they'll beg for a savior. And Arthur will answer the call. Help me bring the king back, whole and complete. That's all I ask of you. Now you need to go further. I made my case. Please keep in mind what I told you. This is the only way for Avalon to survive.
I was there when it all began, when Arthur first set foot on Avalon. I was a knight in his army. We believed in him, in his dream, in his kingdom. And for a while, it was glorious. Every battle felt like a step closer to peace. Every sacrifice justified by the dream we shared. But then came the cost. The war crimes, the impossible decisions, the massacres, slaughters, and irrational cruelty. We turned from knights into butchers, all because his dream demanded it of us. At first I told myself it was necessary, that it was the price of building something great. But the longer it went on, the harder it was to believe. That's when I realized Arthur wasn't a god, a savior, or a king. He was just another man, no different from the rest of us. And no man should have the power to demand such sacrifices. But do you understand why I want it so much? I'd like to believe that after 600 years I've moved past pettiness. You need to understand that people thought, and still think, that he was more than human. But he wasn't. He made mistakes, just like any man. And the cost of those mistakes was always paid for by others. I've seen what happens when people cling to kings and myths. They wait, they follow. They waste their lives on promises that never meant anything. But that's not my problem. I'm not here to fix Avalon or to free anyone. What comes after doesn't matter. Let it all burn. Let it rot. Let it rebuild. I won't be here to see it. Arthur's the only myth that still holds weight. And when he's gone, the rest will rot with him. A puppet king, another empty throne, none of it will last. Maybe they'll keep pretending for a while. Maybe they won't. Let them stand, let them fall. It's not my concern. If the weirdness takes them, so be it. At least it won't be another king's failure. Another lie propping up a dying world. It'll just be what it is. Call it chaos, call it freedom, I don't care. Let them rise, let them fall. Let them tear each other apart. I just want to watch it all come down. To see the last lie collapse under its own weight. What comes after? That's for the ones still standing to figure out. Then let it. If this world can't stand without a dead king propping it up, maybe it deserves to fall. I've lived longer than any man should, seen more than anyone should ever bear. And I've waited centuries for this moment, this chance, to end it all, to end him. And we'll never know if that's true, because we've never tried. And who ever said that we were meant to survive the weirdness at all? We were fools to tamper with forces we didn't understand. Resurrecting Arthur, infusing him with powers of the weirdness. We didn't just bend the natural laws, we shattered them. Such violations of nature's order cannot go unanswered. The bill comes due, sooner or later. Always. This cannot be allowed to continue. Listen, it's taken longer than I ever imagined, but now, here we are. You've done what no one else could, what even I couldn't do. You've brought Arthur's soul back together, almost complete, but not quite. And because of you, I can finally finish what I started centuries ago. So, thank you for bringing us to this moment. You're close now. Just one more step. The last fragment of Arthur's soul is waiting for you. Complete what you came here for. And then, we'll meet again. As allies, or as enemies. That's up to you. Go. Find the last piece, and let's end this. Whatever comes next, I'll be ready. I hope you will be too.
You've come. The one who carries what's left of me. Please, don't come any closer. Don't force me to think about coming back again. Just let me finally die. Because I've had enough. Enough of being torn apart and stitched back together. Enough of being used, shaped, and forced to be something I'm not. Do you know what it is like to be a king of nothing? To see the people you swore to protect suffer because of your choices? Or worse, in your name. I've seen towns burnt to the ground, families destroyed, all because someone thought it would serve the greater good. And they called it loyalty. They called it justice. I've been dragged through every dream, every lie they've built around me. And I'm tired. Tired of the weight, of the expectations, of all of it. And most of all, I'm tired of failing. Orin wants a king, not me. He doesn't see the broken man behind the myth. He sees a symbol, a weapon to wield against the weirdness. But symbols aren't people. They're empty. And the more they're used, the more they hollow out the one who carries them. That's all I've ever been to Orin and the Druids. Do you know what it's like to be a weapon? To be forged, sharpened, and thrown at every problem? He thinks ending me will free Avalon. But what then? Without an idea, a light to guide them, they'll stumble, lose their way, and turn on each other. People always seek something to follow, something to believe in. Take that away, and they'll tear each other apart trying to find it. Or worse, build something even crueler in its place. I want release. I want to stop being a tool in their endless struggle. Kill me. Destroy the last piece of me and use the energy however you wish. Take it yourself and become the new king. Give it to someone else. I don't care. Just don't let me come back again. Let me die. Not as Arthur, not as the king, just as a simple, normal human being. Isn't that what you've been doing all along? Carrying what's left of him? You've already taken up the humanity I was meant to represent. Doesn't that prove Arthur doesn't need me anymore? I don't care. Do you know how freeing that is, to finally not care what happens next? Whether Orin gets his king or Caradoc gets his ruin? To not feel the burden of all my failures? To not see my memory tarnished, my plans, goals, and ambitions dragged through the mud? To not see the suffering my name causes? No more deaths in my shadow. No more kingdoms built on my bones. Another way? There's always another way, isn't there? Another cycle, another resurrection, another lie to keep the world spinning. But please, not for me. Not anymore. I've had enough. I don't want another chance. I want this to be over. Do what you think is right. That's all I can tell you, because whatever you decide, it will finally be your choice, not mine, not theirs. And that's the only thing I've ever wanted. You hold the choice. I don't care who you side with, Orin, Caradoc, or no one at all. You have all of my soul. Use it. Take it for yourself, or give it to someone else. I don't even want to know. Do what you will with it. Just let me go. Let me finally rest. Let me die. Please. Let me go.
Help me bring the king back, whole and complete. That's all I ask of you. Now you need to go further. I made my case. Please keep in mind what I told you. This is the only way for Avalon to survive.
Go on. He's waiting for you.
Oh, hello there. Let me go. Let me finally rest.
You carried a dying king across the bones of a dying world. Now you stand before what started it all. An idea. I am the reason there must be an ending. I do not guide. I do not judge. I exist so that something can be chosen. I do not offer meaning. I require that one be made. You have brought all things to their conclusion. Now, decide what must remain. Choose, and let the shape of the world follow. You will be seen. You will be followed. You will be blamed. You will vanish into the story you chose to restore. You will break the frame, and what follows will not remember you. You will shape the world to become its witness. Then the idea shall be claimed, its shape worn, its burden made yours. But first, You have to bring silence to what refuses to be forgotten.
If this is what you want, then take it, my friend. But promise me you will learn from my mistakes.
No, I won't let this happen. Not again.
You think any other human could wield this power? I endured 600 years of pain, of suffering, of loneliness. I made the sacrifices, me! And now you think you can take it from me? The hubris. No. I reject your claim. I will reforge Avalon. Perfect this time.
You took Arthur's power for yourself. Whatever drove you, need, ambition, or will alone, the strength of a king was now yours to command. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe nobody ever is. But you decided to try. It's a heavy thing, trying to do right where others have failed. Still, you stepped forward, carrying the soul and every choice that brought you here. You ruled not as Arthur reborn, but as yourself, flawed, resolute, untested. Avalon changed beneath your hand, and history will decide what that truly meant. With your support, Galahad brought unity and discipline back to the south. The Dalrita rebellion was contained, and for the first time in years, the people could breathe in peace. Soon after you made your decision in the Resurrection Chamber, Denham took the men here to Camelot, along with most of Kuanak's people. Yvain departed in silence to pursue the Grail and never returned, his absence barely noted as Kuanak faded into history. You awakened the giants and gave their strength to Camelot, ending the Darwita rebellion before it could ignite. In time, a new generation rose among the tribes, learning to coexist under Camelot's banner, no longer feared as savages, but respected as part of Avalon's future. Virgas remained captain of the Horns of the South. Under his leadership, the Horns honored their old traditions and returned under Camelot's banner, securing order along the southern frontier. Nianta left Kuanacht with Yvain, and her fate remained unknown. Yet among the people she once served, tales of her devotion and courage endured, and her name was remembered with respect. Maggot remained among the people of Kuanacht, and eventually moved with them to Camelot. There, where druids were forbidden, the community hid him in plain sight. He spent the rest of his life in secrecy, protected by those he had once helped. Oeuvre left Kuanacht alongside Yvain, despite concerns about his age. His fate remained unknown, but the people admired him for finding purpose at the end of his life, and spoke of him with lasting respect. You accepted the mycelium's offer and let the spores consume Sagramor's body. Now the kingdom lies under fungal control, its people connected, obedient, and slowly fading into the roots that feed the spores. Killian served as quartermaster of the Horns of the South, until one night his thirst for blood drove him to murder a fellow keeper. He was caught in the act and brought to a swift end. Then the idea shall endure, unquestioned, repeated, secured by return.
I begged you not to do this. I begged you.
No, I won't let this happen. Not again.
Through your sacrifice, the king returned, entire, unbroken, and ready to reclaim his throne. You held faith that Avalon's fate still turned with him, that one last rising could bring balance to the broken land. Now he rules again, and the world bends to the weight of your choice, for salvation or for ruin. You gave everything to restore the king, and your journey ended with his return. Closing your eyes upon the sight of Arthur's triumph, you felt no regret, only the certainty that your final choice had been the right one. Then the idea shall fall, its weight discarded, its rule denied. But the soul is not yet yours to give. First, it must be purified of what still speaks through it.
Thank you. But promise me, you will win this fight, my friend.
After everything you've seen, you side with Caradoc. Then all the suffering, all the pain, meant nothing. I am disappointed. Now I
complete. Avalon will be reborn. Perfect this time.
You brought down the cycle with steady hands and no promise of glory. You did not claim the throne. You buried it. There is no king now. Only the truth you made and the path others may follow. You had no answers, only scars and the will to keep walking. And sometimes that was enough to keep others going too. Then the idea shall develop, its shape intact, its path redirected. But the soul is not yet yours to give. First, you have to bring silence to what refuses to be forgotten.
If this is what you want, then so be it. Take the soul, my friend. And I hope you're sure of the person you want to put this burden onto.
No.
You think any other human could wield this power? I endured 600 years of pain, of suffering, of loneliness. I made the sacrifices, me! And now you think you can take it from me? The hubris. No. I reject your claim.
You gave the soul to another, not to escape its weight, but because you believed they could carry it. One person, chosen by you, to bear the burden and to shape what comes next. Whatever future rises from their rule will bear your seal, for it was your will that set it in motion. Without the power of Arthur to sustain you, your body fell back into the endless rot of the Red Death. With only a few weeks of life remaining, you withdrew into isolation, finding a quiet place from which to watch the kingdom you had helped forge anew. You entrusted Arthur's soul to Niante, a quiet leader who rebuilt Avalon not with armies, but through care, faith, and timeless service. Her rise brought healing and unity. Yet some watched with unease as a priestess became a ruler, and humility gave way to unchallenged reverence.